Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anne Bartlett, a qualified Blue Badge tour guide, and I'm on part of the beautiful estate of Stanway at the foot of the Cotswold escarpment on the long distance footpath known as the Cotswold Way, and I'm on the section between the town of Winchcombe and the village of Broadway. For centuries, up until the dissolution of the monasteries, this land was owned and managed by the monks of Tewkesbury Abbey, a very rich Benedictine house about 11 miles away. Huge profits were made from the sale of wool from the flocks of sheep that grazed on this hillside. The estate was acquired by a branch of the aristocratic Tracy family of nearby Toddington. Over the years, the Tracy family have farmed the estate, built this lovely Jacobean manor house, the pretty stone cottages, and maintained the wooded hillside. In the 19th century, the last of the Tracy family died, and the Stanway estate passed down through the marriage of a distant cousin to Francis Charteris, 8th Earl of Wemyss and March, and today it is the family home of the 13th Earl and his wife. Here we have the main entrance to the beautiful honey-coloured Jacobean manor house, a magnificently ornate 3-storey gatehouse with double wooden doors. Notice the scallop shell finials above the shaped gables and at the corner of the roof. Way back in the 12th century, an ancestor, Sir William de Tracy, was reputed to be one of the 4 knights who murdered Archbishop Thomas Becket in Canterbury Cathedral after King Henry II, in a fit of rage, supposedly exclaimed, "Will no one rid me of this troublesome priest?" Sir William escaped execution for his part in this dreadful deed, and instead was sentenced to a very tough 14 years of crusading and pilgrimage. And his family, proud of his fortitude, adopted the scallop shell, the emblem worn by pilgrims, and you can see it has been incorporated into the family's coat of arms. Stanway House and Garden is still in private ownership, but is open to the public on Tuesday and Thursday afternoon during the summer months. I do recommend that you visit this lovely family home. It lies just off the B4077, and the turning can be identified by this striking war memorial with a bronze figure of St. George spearing a dragon. The glorious landscape gardens are famous for its water gardens. Here is the restored canal, in the middle of which is the spectacular 300-foot single-jet fountain, recorded as the highest fountain in Britain and the highest gravity-driven fountain in the world. Also in the grounds, and alongside the church, is an enormous medieval tithe barn, probably built by the abbot of Tewkesbury Abbey in the 14th century. Every peasant farmer on this estate in medieval times was required to give 1/10 of their produce to the landlord. These huge double doors are wide enough for horse-drawn carts to pass through, loaded with crops. It must have taken weeks to fill this space. Just across the road is the village cricket ground, with an unusual cricket pavilion. It rests on staddle stones, which in the Middle Ages supported various agricultural buildings, such as granaries, keeping them off the ground to protect the stored grain from vermin and water ingress. Author James Barrie, famous for creating the story of Peter Pan, about the boy who never grew up, rented Stanway Manor House every summer for 10 years. He invited guests to stay for literary house parties and cricket matches. He was passionate about the game and had this delightful thatched log pavilion built for the visiting cricket teams. Barrie invited his literary friends, including H.G. Wells, Arthur Conan Doyle, Jerome K. Jerome, G.K. Chesterton, A.A. Milne, P.G. Woodhouse and A.E.W. Mason to play cricket in his team, the Allah Akbaris. His very amateur celebrity cricket teams had fun playing against the American artists living in Broadway at that time, which included John Singer Sargent, Frank Millett, Edwin Austen Abbey and their friends. Many matches were played with a lot of hilarity between the two groups. Another historic part of this village is this watermill, which has been restored and become a working flour mill, which was reopened by His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales in 2009. This is the huge water wheel with a horizontal shaft that's fixed to gears and wheels on the other side of the back wall. So let's go inside and see what's going on. In years gone by, the grain was delivered in sacks by horse and cart, and these sacks were stored on the top floor. When ready, the grain enters a hopper and passes through chutes to this container above the 2 millstones, which are turned by the energy produced by the water wheel. The grain is then shaken into an opening in the centre of the top millstone. It's hard to see exactly what is happening with the protective covers over the stones. So over to one side, there is a useful demonstration using miniature grinding stones. The grain goes into the hole in the middle, and as the top stone is turned, the grain is crushed into flour as it travels outwards between the millstones. The wheat for Stanway Watermill is grown on the estate, less than a mile from the mill, and the flour made from that wheat is sold at the mill and in local shops. I hope that I've inspired you to visit Stanway Manor and take time to wander through this sleepy village surrounded by the glorious Cotswold national landscape. Make sure that you time your visit to arrive on a day that the historic manor house is open to the public. You'll be able to see inside the house, enjoy its beauty and character, and be able to wander through the water gardens and marvel at one of the world's tallest fountains. If you've visited Stanway already, do let me know in the comments below. I'm Anne Bartlett, and my website is touringexplore.com.